This is the model JS1600C continuous run steam machine. Basically what it is, it's a machine that has two tanks. We fill the tank up with tap water into the top tank, the holding tank, and there's a pressurized tank. And it feeds from the top tank. So in theory you can run this continuously, which is what the C means. Just keep the top tank with this little cap in here topped up, and you can get steam 24 hours a day. So it makes steam into the machine. When you first fill it up, it takes about 10 minutes to heat up. You turn both of these switches on. When this light turns on, that's telling you that it's built up to steam and it's ready to go. On this side, there's a red light, and that is that's warning you that you're running low on the water in your top tank, and so that's just telling you to keep that tank filled up or you're going to run out of steam. These three lights on here are advising what pressure that you are having output from this. There are three different settings on here. There's a dual switch. You turn on one switch, and there's a safety switch that you have to turn on. When you turn that on, you see one light comes on that's low pressure. You turn this switch off, turn the second switch on, pull up this safety switch, two lights come on, that's the next highest pressure. If you have both of these switches on and pull on the safety switch, all three lights are on, and that is maximum pressure, which is 65 psi. The water coming out there, or the steam coming out there, is 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So you want to be careful of how you use this. There are locks on the handle, and I'll show you the extension ones. There's little locks at the side. Make sure when you have the pieces in that you push them down and that locks it in place. If you don't, the pressure, the steam could pull those off. So now I have it set in full pressure through this little tip here, just to show you the steam that comes out. When you first turn it on, it's fairly wet. You have to get rid of the condensation, and that's the type of steam you get coming out of the machine. You can put your hand relatively close, and you don't want to start playing with it. As a matter of fact, you should be wearing gloves. But it's fairly safe at a fair distance away. Depending on what kind of job you're using for, and this is good for detail cleaning in washrooms, it's good for cleaning out grout in walls. If you have mold, it's good at killing mold because of the heat. Good for carpet spotting and doing smaller carpet areas. Good for sanitizing, again, because of the heat. It'll sanitize bed heads and mattress covers and mattresses, etc., again, because of the heat. So that's a good way of dealing with that. Typically, and because it's a detail cleaning machine, you have a cloth in your hand, and if you're cleaning grout out of a shower area, you typically have a cloth in one hand, use the steam, get the soil starting to come out of the grout lines, and you wipe it up. If you go too far and let it cool down, then the heat will be lost, and we will reseal the dirt into the grout area. There are different tips and tools that come with the unit. The most common one is the brass tip, and it's great for cleaning grout and tile and those sort of smaller, hard to clean areas. But you want to be careful that you don't scratch the area that you're going to be working in. So as a general rule, I'll do a little test in a corner where it's not too obvious, just to make sure that the tool that I'm going to be using does not scratch. So there's a brass tip, there's a stainless steel tip, a nylon tip, two different styles. There's a round one, and there's a triangular tip for getting into odd-shaped areas. So this is close-up areas. If you're cleaning in an area that you have to be bending down all the time, there are extension ones. You can use one or both of them. You want to make sure you line up the locks on the same side. It's just a style to go in one way. Lock it in place. I can put this in here, other way around, and lock it up. Now you notice all these three locks are on the same side. If you put them on the wrong side, it could get jammed into place. Now I have the option of putting this tool on here, fairly small area, but what it does is it concentrates all the steam heat into a nice compact area. There are other tools available, such as this floor tool. So if you're cleaning floor areas with grout, and the grout's not too bad, it will do a fairly decent job. This tool is also capable of taking a cloth and wrapping a cloth around it, and there are little holders to hold the cloth in place. And you can do a wall with this, and what happens is the cloth absorbs the dirt into the cloth, and if it's a dirty area, you're going to be changing the cloth fairly often. There's also a tool for doing flat areas and glass, and basically what it is, there's a steam port along here, a whole bunch of little steam jets that will steam out, and you drag it downwards, and this strip will take off handprints on a door, etc. And then there's a squeegee on the back that you can squeegee, because it's you get a little bit of condensation, just to squeegee that down. Also part of the tool package, we'll mount on this little tip here, is a tool to scrape, great for getting into corners where you get a build-up of finish or build-up of dirt. Great at getting gum off carpets and chairs, etc. Also getting stickers off walls. Anything with a glue base, this is great at getting off. It will shoot steam underneath it and peel that up. And then there's a little piece that goes over sinks, and there's a little seal on here, and you seal that on the drain. So this goes over the drain in the sink, and it shoots steam down the drain. So if you get a drain that has any kind of bacteria smell coming off from it, that will actually wipe out that smell. And if there's a block in the bottom of the tube, it'll also unblock block sinks as well. And I think that's all the tools.